I think this I think this episode is going to challenge how you see crypto completely, because while retail investors are still asking whether crypto is safe, whether it's too late, whether it is a scam, there is another group of people that are already making their decisions. And that group is a Wall Street. They are not experimenting, they are not watching, they are not waiting, but they are already in it. Okay? So they are quietly building positions, they are quietly building infrastructures, and most importantly, they are quietly positioning themselves ahead of the next phase of this market. So the real question today is not whether crypto is the future, but I think the real question today is, why did institutions wait? And why did they move in right now? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about tokenization. Right now, an industry that is moving close to $30 billion. Because right now, when I look at the charts, the tokenization industry is standing at $29.22 billion. Of course, representing almost 400 billion assets. Yes, $400 billion assets. When I look at the charts right now, it is $370.8 billion. Yes, the tokenized assets, they represented tokenized assets. So it is almost $400 billion in tokenized assets. Ladies and gentlemen, let me start with something personal. Because I've seen this pattern before. Of course, back in the days of OneCoin, of Platincoin, we were told that this is the future, that this is the next Bitcoin. This is your chance to get rich early before 30s, and many of us believed it. Not because we are foolish, not because we are early, but we had no right information. Yeah, I should really say that. But the painful truth is that while retail investors were chasing fake opportunities, real institutions were staying away. They didn't jump into scams. They didn't chase hype. They waited. They observed. They studied. And now with tokenization, they are entering the market at a very, very complete different level. Because when we say institutions, we are talking about asset managers, we are talking about banks, we are talking about hedge funds, we are talking about governments. This is not retail money. We're talking about billions and trillions of dollars. And they are not coming into crypto the way retail does. They are not buying random tokens, but they are building crypto ETFs, they are building custody solutions, they are building tokenization platforms, they are building blockchain-based financial systems. So this is important, because institutions do not gamble, but they build systems that generate long-term value. So once they commit, they don't exit easily, because they are here to create wealth of generations and generations. Now, this is the key question here. Why didn't institutions come in earlier? Because crypto has been around for a decade now. So why did the institutions choose to join crypto or to join tokenization right now? In my own feeling and my own observation, I think really that there have been a lot of regulation uncertainty. Okay, because institutions, they cannot operate in unclear environments because they need legal clarity, they need compliance frameworks, they need government alignment. So without that, they had stayed out. Look at how infrastructures have been weak. Because early crypto was slow, early crypto was expensive, it was unstable. You couldn't build serious financial systems on it. But now we have better blockchains, we have layer 2 solutions, we have scalable networks. Look at what Solana is doing. So it's now usable. When you also look at the risk versus reputation, institutions care about one thing more than profit. That is the reputation. They couldn't afford to be associated with scams or volatility. It was intense. It has been intense. So they waited. So until the industry, now that has matured, for institutions to come on board. What has changed? What has actually changed in crypto? Why are institutions suddenly moving in? Ladies and gentlemen, when you look at the demand right now, it has become impossible to ignore. Look at the retail demand. It didn't disappear. It is keeping on growing. So institutions realized that if you don't provide access, maybe somebody else will. Bitcoin has also become legitimate. It has been legitimized because Bitcoin has survived, has survived crashes, it has survived criticism, it has survived regulation. It proved resilience. And that gave institutions confidence. So tokenization right now is being a big opportunity. It is opening up big opportunities. And this is where things get serious. Because institutions are not just interested in crypto, but institutions are interested in what blockchain can do for traditional assets. Tokenization is allowing institutions to digitalize assets, to increase liquidity, to reduce costs. So this is a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. It is much bigger than just trading tokens. Let us be honest here, because this might be uncomfortable, but I think it is really very important. I'm of a thought that retail investors are not the priority anymore. That's what I think. I was talking with the CEO of Quantum Exchange, and we are discussing about all this. Retail investors are not the priority anymore. In the early days of crypto, retail drove the market. But now, institutions are shaping it. Because they control liquidity, they control infrastructure, they control market direction. And this is the future. Because things are getting stabilized again. And this is the dangerous part now. This is the most dangerous part. Retail is playing the old game. Retail is playing the old game. It is chasing meme coins. It is chasing away. It is chasing hype. It is chasing quick profits. But institutions are saying no. For us, we are building infrastructure. For us, we are acquiring assets. For us, we are positioning for long term. And this creates a gap. And most people don't even see it yet. So let us answer the question that everybody is thinking about. Are we too late? The answer is no. But also, you are not as early as you think. Because we are all early to tokenization, we are all early to real world asset integration, to blockchain infrastructure. But we are late to blind speculation, and we are all late to easy money cycles. Because this is a different phrase. And it requires a very, very different mindset. So what do you do with this information? It is to shift your strategy. You have to focus more on utility. You have to stop chasing hype. You have to start understanding the real use cases and real adoption. You have to think long term, because institutions are not here for quick gains, but they are building for years and years. So you should also think the same way. Yes. Learn the infrastructure layer, because this is where the value is being created. From tokenization, from payments, from custody, not just trading. So understand compliance now. Understand that the future of crypto is regulated. And projects that ignore this, they will not survive. Let me leave you with this. Crypto is no longer an outsider system, but it is being absorbed now into the very system it was meant to disrupt. And this changes everything, because now it's not just about freedom, but it's about integration. It is no longer just about disruption, but it is about transformation. And the people who understand this shift, they will be the ones to benefit the most. So if you're still looking at crypto the same way you did in 2017, I think you're already behind. But if you start seeing it in the way that institutions see it, you are positioning yourself differently, not as a gambler, but as somebody who understands where the world is going. I tell you this. This is the Crypto Investor Podcast. You can listen to this episode from wherever you listen your podcasts from. Daniel Einhardt is my name. Thank you for listening.